Hey there guys, how's it going? Welcome to an Advanced Warfare video where I want to discuss skill-based matchmaking. Is it definitely in the game? Does it have a massive effect on things? And my personal thoughts and opinions, because I haven't really discussed publicly what I think about it. Maybe if you watch all of my live streams you might have seen a couple of my thoughts on it, but generally most people aren't really going to know what I think, and I had a lot of people ask me that question in my stream a lot. And normally if people come into my live streams and ask me something, it's more maybe something that people will be interested to know my thoughts on. Obviously it's affecting the YouTube Call of Duty community, people who try and get really high score gameplays, as well as anyone that plays COD regularly and likes to do well. You know, it's making it that little bit more challenging in public lobbies some of the time. So skill-based matchmaking, those of you who don't know, there's obviously a lot of people saying that in this game, a lot of the coding suggests that you are getting matched against players pretty much based on the skill of other people rather than the connection, in terms of it's matching you with players that have similar score per minute, similar KD ratios, over preference of sometimes connection, which is obviously going to be the first problem really. Everyone wants that best connection regardless of anything else. Now obviously this is going to affect a lot of people. It's one of those things where it doesn't affect everyone, but it definitely affects people who, you know, like getting big score gameplays and like the randomness, which encourages the fun of Call of Duty. Like, I like a competitive game every now and then, but there is a ranked playlist. If you want to, you know, try hard for the objective and just have a really competitive game, why does public lobbies need to be like that? You know, a lot of people are a bit frustrated with this, and understandably so. Now from my point of view, I can see both sides of the coin. I can see why Activision would want to develop a game where people aren't going to get completely obliterated if they're new. You can't forget, every brand new year there's a whole new crowd of people who think maybe this year I'm going to try out Call of Duty. Some people who, you know, move on from other games, like especially like the younger generation, the kids who are like, oh, I don't want to play like Nintendo anymore, I want to play like Call of Duty. And just people who see it, you know, advertised on TV, they've got a PS4 and they think, oh wow, I guess I'll get Call of Duty. These people are potential fans for Activision, and the last thing they want is for them to pick up the game, play, get absolutely demolished by the already hardcore fan base, and then never play again. And the problem for them is they can't force them to play ranked, so obviously they probably don't even realise if they played ranked they'd get similar skill levels. They just want to play online, have a bit of fun. You know, if they don't have any fun, they're never going to come back. Money lost, blah-de-blah. Now on the other side, obviously, you've got the players, you know, like myself and a lot of other experienced Call of Duty players who have worked for years, really, you know, playing Call of Duty, enjoying the fun of it and getting better at the game, and they want to feel like they have eventually earned the right to be generally better than the public, and that's what they enjoy, playing public games. I think pretty much everyone can say that, even the people who like to pub stomp, you know, they enjoy a competitive game, but not being forced to play a competitive game. I don't want easy games every time. I'm not particularly a fan of the skill-based matchmaking. I'd rather it wasn't in the game. That's my general thoughts on it. But that doesn't mean that what I'm saying is I want to play easy people every time. I just want the option there to know that I'm sometimes going to get that dream lobby in Call of Duty for a player who's pretty sharp at the game and, you know, can get high streaks. Just knowing that every now and then you're going to get that lobby where you're just going to absolutely demolish the other team is like kind of like the little light at the end of the tunnel in Call of Duty. If it's a constant struggle of, you know, people who are, you know, just as good as you, although in some ways that sounds like, well, don't you want to play people, you know, don't you want to pick on people your own size? You know, that's not why people play games. People play video games to relax, have fun, enjoy themselves, and if something's kind of seeping the enjoyment out of that, then it's a problem to them. But then again, on the Activision side, obviously making the game, they want new customers. Why wouldn't they want new customers who are going to come on, enjoy themselves, and whatever? They don't want you. They don't want like Billy New customer coming up against, you know, some pub stomping clan. It's just going to be a nightmare for them. And although I understand it's a little bit selfish, I guess, to not want skill-based matchmaking in the game, at the same time, it's like, come on, I mean, it's kind of detriment to the people who play the game every year, and you know, people like me who buy the game every year. I mean, I even obviously promote the game every year because I enjoy it so much. I make videos on it, and it's like kicking me in the balls and saying you can't play this game the way you've always enjoyed it. You're gonna have to deal with this just so that we can get some new people in. It's a catch-22, and it's always going to happen with a game where obviously it's been out for quite a few years and there's people who are really good at it and they want to introduce new people. Now obviously Counter-Strike is a game where they've kind of got around this problem, but at the same time, even in Counter-Strike, they still have public lobbies, like random death matches, and don't get me wrong, you're normally going to come against really good players. Not many people playing Counter-Strike are like Joe Casual, as you get with obviously a console game like Advanced Warfare. But the competitive is the ranked playlist, and that's there and people play that, but there is the option of just completely random people. You can play against completely random people. Now, there's not many people in Call of Duty who have got more playtime than I have, so, I mean, even in the YouTube scene, I've got one of the highest amounts of playtime in the game, so I think it's fair to say that I'm a pretty good, I suppose, guide stick for saying how much skill-based matchmaking is in the game. You know, am I getting paired every game against people who I would say are similar on my level? And I've especially noticed recently, the last couple of weeks, I have started to get easier games. Now I think the reasons is twofold. I actually think that obviously a few less people are playing the game, so it doesn't have such a big pool of people to choose from when it decides to match me up against other people. I'm sure it would like to put me up against people similar ability to me, but then obviously if that's not a choice, it has to put me in with whoever's playing, surely. Although, like I said before, I have had trouble getting games sometimes. But then again, I have had some games where there's been some people on my team and the other team who are complete noobs, and what it really does showcase is the fact that there is a big skill gap in this game. You can't forget that this game is kind of like no other COD in terms of it does have a bit of a skill gap, a bigger skill gap for sure than previous Call of Duties. In previous Call of Duties, you know, you didn't have to worry about fast boosting movement, which completely changes up the game, to be fair, and a very experienced player who knows the map and has the movements down is going to be able to obliterate people who are just running around. They don't know how to exo move and they don't know how to boost around very well, and their aim's not very good. You know, they're going to get much more absolutely destroyed than people in previous Call of Duties who were new, because they had a similar playing field. Their movement was the same as yours, and you could only be in certain places, but this time it's a whole different kettle of fish. So again, that's, I guess, another argument to say this game kind of needs a bit of skill-based matchmaking for it to be a fair and balanced multiplayer. But I don't know, are we selfish in saying that we don't want it, or are we being reasonable? It's a bit of a one I'm undecided of. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think it's reasonable to say that skill-based matchmaking isn't something you think that should be in the game? Or are we being unfair and everyone should just be enjoying themselves, having a great time against only people on their skill level? My final thoughts, I hope that skill-based matchmaking especially is taken out of the game for the majority. I'm finding it more and more difficult to find games, sometimes late at night, and anything that means that I can get a game quicker with a better connection is the way to go in my book. There's obviously ranked playlists if you want to have a try-hard, you know, objective-based game every single time. Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to smash that like button if you did enjoy this video, and check out all the rest of my videos that I've uploaded recently on Advanced Warfare, as well as some other videos like funny compilations and stuff that you might have missed. Check out my channel. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you next time.